It really looks like DC has a bunch of major things happening at the same time, especially because Warner Brothers is suddenly open for sale and huge companies like Netflix and Paramount, now led by David Ellison, are being linked to it. But since the title already makes it clear what we're focusing on, today is really about what's going on with Supergirl, because we just got our first real look at the movie. After Superman became a major success for James Gunn and the DCU, the next film lined up is Supergirl, so fans have been trying to figure out when the first trailer will finally drop. Millie Alcock made her DCU debut as Kara Zor-El at the very end of Superman, when the movie reveals that Krypto is actually her dog, and Clark was only watching him for her. It was a small scene, but it immediately set her up for a solo movie. Right after Superman was released, DC Studios dropped the first official Supergirl poster. But since then, there hasn't been much else in terms of promotion. With the winter movie season starting and 2025 on its way out, studios are getting ready to market their big 2026 films. So this is exactly the time when fans expect real updates. There's already been a bunch of discussion online about when Marvel and Sony will release trailers for the big MCU movies coming next year, like Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday. Marvel confirmed that the Doomsday trailer is going to be attached to Avatar Fire and Ash, which hits theaters next month. Because of that, people are wondering if DC will use the same moment to drop something for Supergirl. It's definitely possible that the first Supergirl trailer could release next month, because DC and Warner Brothers might want to take advantage of the holiday rush to promote a major 2026 movie. And even though WB doesn't have a huge blockbuster of its own coming in December, that doesn't stop them from using the crowded season for exposure. If you look back at how the Superman campaign started, the very first teaser arrived on December 18, 2024. So if DC wants to follow the same plan, the Supergirl trailer could easily drop during mid-December and play in theaters with movies like Avatar Fire and Ash. But there are two reasons why DC might decide to wait until early next year. First, Superman was the official launch of the new DC Universe, so the studio had to push it harder than a normal release. They needed to sell Gunn's whole reboot, so dropping the trailer early made sense for that specific movie. The second reason is that the tone of Supergirl is older and darker than Superman. The film adapts Tom King and Bilquis Evely's comic, where Kara is rougher, more jaded, and working through trauma while going on a revenge-driven mission that forces her to confront everything she's been carrying since Krypton died. Because of that tone, the marketing might be shaped differently. DC may not want a dark Supergirl trailer playing before animated family films or younger skewing releases like Zootopia 2. Even though the movie is less than 9 months away, the promotional rollout still hasn't begun in full, so it's only a matter of time before things ramp up. Whether the trailer comes next month or in early 2026 is the big question. If DC chooses early 2026, it might tie the trailer release to the Super Bowl on February 8th, which would be a classic big event drop. In a new interview with Nerdtropolis, David Krumholtz, who plays Kara's father Zor-El, explained how closely the movie follows the Woman of Tomorrow comic. He said the film is very true to the graphic novel, and then confirmed that Lobo is part of the story too, with Jason Momoa playing him. So the film is basically the comic with Lobo woven into the plot. Krumholtz couldn't reveal much more, but he said he's excited to help expand the story of Krypton and clarify more about the House of El. Emily Beecham is playing Kara's mother Allura, so the family dynamic will be a key piece of the film. Superman already set up a huge twist involving Jor-El and Lara, revealing that they sent Kal-El to Earth with the intention of ruling, not saving the planet. Since Zor-El is Jor-El's brother, the Supergirl movie could use him, Allura, and Kara to build out a deeper, more complex history of the House of El in the new DCU. Craig Gillespie, who directed I, Tonya, is directing Supergirl based on a script by Anna Nogueira. Nogueira adapted Tom King and Bilquis Evely's 8-issue miniseries, which many fans consider one of DC's best modern stories. This will be Supergirl's first solo film since 1984, when Helen Slater brought the character to the big screen. The cast includes several characters directly from the comic, like Matthias Schoenaerts as Krem of the Yellow Hills and Eve Ridley as Ruthie Mary Knoll. The movie is one of DC Studios' major 2026 releases, along with Clayface, which comes out in September. With Superman already back in theaters, Kara's story is set up to be one of next year's major DCU spotlights. By the time the film releases, it will have been 41 years since Supergirl last headlined her own movie. Millie Alcock was cast on January 29, 2024, following a huge wave of support from fans who wanted her in the role after her performance in House of the Dragon. In an interview with Variety, Anna Nogueira talked about writing this version of Kara. She said Kara's entire world collapsed when Krypton died, so she couldn't imagine the character being cheerful the way some earlier versions portrayed her. She found her direction once she leaned into Tom King's darker, funnier, and more emotionally raw version of the character. When she read the comic, she said, "There she is." Alcock filmed her movie throughout early 2025, wrapping production on May 10th. Her brief cameo in Superman gave fans their first real taste of her take on Kara, defiant, sharp, tired, and clearly carrying a lot. That small moment matched the tone of Woman of Tomorrow perfectly. Kara has been played by several actresses before, most famously Melissa Benoist in the Supergirl TV series, which ran from 2015 to 2021 and joined the Arrowverse in Season 2. Sasha Calle took on the role in The Flash, but that timeline ended with the DCEU. Tom King is one of the main architects behind the new DCU and is also working on the live-action Lantern series for HBO, along with developing Mr. Miracle as an animated show. So Supergirl fits into a much larger plan Gunn is building across multiple corners of the universe. When James Gunn appeared at the Jim Lee and Friends panel, he spoke directly to Tom King, Bill Casevely, and Matt Lopez, praising them for the work they did on Woman of Tomorrow. He said he makes these movies because he loves and respects what comic creators do, and he talked about how deeply the art moved him. He also said he couldn't have made Superman without the inspiration he took from their work. Gunn's reaction felt emotional and authentic because he wasn't doing a rehearsed marketing speech. He was reacting to the art in front of him. That kind of respect for the source material explains why fans trust him with Supergirl and why the adaptation feels so faithful already. For many fans, Woman of Tomorrow is Supergirl's definitive story because it explores her pain, strength, anger, compassion, and growth. Before reading it, a lot of people only saw Kara as Superman's cousin. After reading it, they saw her as a fully realized hero with a journey that stands on its own. That's why people were excited when the movie was announced, even though some were nervous about whether Gunn could capture the comic's tone. But the 30-second cameo in Superman convinced fans he understands exactly what makes this version special. Kara shows up as a rebellious, exhausted, sharp-tongued survivor who's still figuring out her place. The scene even references the opening of Woman of Tomorrow when Clark mentions she was drinking on a red sun planet because she can't get drunk under a yellow one. So even without a trailer, everything about Millie Alcock's Kara suggests that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is shaping up to be a faithful, bold adaptation that embraces the comic's heart, humor, and emotional weight. And because of that, excitement for the 2026 film keeps building as the DCU moves forward. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.